So now let's look at the NPR side of things in TR. Alright, not that NPR, but as far as Meditech is concerned, we have the same items in NPR that we check in MAT, with one additional troubleshooting tool. Going back to the main menu and now selecting NPR, you can see the options we have here. All the operational items, like data transfers, viewing errors and logs, and file maintenance, are all accessible from the operations desktop, so we'll select that. The initial screen we see is a high-level status for the master background job, as well as a summary for the nightly file maintenance. Again, from this monitor screen, we just visually confirm that the job is running and that the other items have current dates. The messages screen gives us a little more detail on each part of the data transfer process. In this case, messages sent from each application indicating their status. Again, all we typically look for here are messages indicating a halted job or some other problem, but unless there's, say, scheduled downtime or the server is offline, these processes are pretty reliable and will continually restart themselves if there's some type of interruption. The data transfer screen provides us detail on each application's data transfer status. We can select a job, in this example from ABS or abstracting, and see its state and status toward the bottom of the screen. You can see that by default, each job sleeps for 30 seconds, then wakes up, performs any necessary data transfers, and then goes to sleep again. On this screen, we look for any states that indicate a problem, halted, stopped, or crashed. If that's the case, it's something to investigate and determine why, scheduled or unscheduled downtime, a network issue, etc. Finally, if we want to drill into a specific job, in this case the abstracting transfer job, I can select the View Transfer button at the bottom of the screen and see details for just this one job component. And from here I can see that the job status is running and review the most recent job status dates. There is one routine in NPR that's not available in MAT, the Pending Activity routine, which we can access from the Data Transfer screen here at the bottom. This allows us to see how many records are waiting in the DR transfer queue for an entire application, or even down to the level of an individual table. This can be useful to check if you suspect data isn't arriving in the DR on a timely basis. When we select Pending Activity, we're prompted to type an application. I'll enter pharmacy. We'll select that. The data will be compiled, and we'll see our results. As we can see here, we only have 4 pending rows for one table, FA-PAT data. There isn't a magic number of rows for any application indicates good or bad, because activity differs so much throughout the day for each application. For example, during a bar nightly batch processing, the pending rows might be very high, maybe tens or even hundreds of thousands of rows, and that would be normal. What you want to use this routine for is to make sure that the pending rows are fluctuating up and down, which is normal, versus, say, just building up and never going down, constantly increasing in other words. If that's the case, it's usually a symptom of other problems, maybe a hardware or network issue, or perhaps a stuck sequence error in the transfer queue, which Meditech can correct very quickly. The initial load screen in NPR is very similar to MAT. We can see the most recently computed IL for each application, and also like MAT, we have access to run our own initial loads using the SIL routine.